Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss about the inductors. The last class we discussed about the self-inductance and mutual inductance and definitions, formula of the self-inductance, mutual inductance and the specifications of the inductors. So today we are going to discuss about the combination of the inductors, how we can connect, what is the equivalent inductance of the inductors whenever we are connecting in the series and parallel. So in the last class we discussed about the inductor specifications, and now we are going to discuss some sort of revision of the specifications, and then we go to discuss about the total inductance when they are connected in series. So inductor specifications, the main specifications are we having the six specifications: inductance value, type of winding, insulation resistance, power rating, temperature coefficient, core material. The thing is, inductance value means what is the value of the inductor. So whenever we are taking the component, we need to identify the value of the inductor. So generally the value is printed on the inductor, or we may having the value in the data sheet. Type of winding, what type of winding we are using, clockwise winding or anti-clockwise. So depending on that, what type of winding we are using, we need to know when we are using the inductor. Insulation resistance. Insulation resistance means how much of resistance is offered the contact leads. So the we also need to know that insulation resistance. Power rating. So power rating indicates that how much of power we can apply to these inductors. So we can, another way we can say is that the maximum power that can the inductor can withstand given by the power rating. We need to know the power rating. So if you know the power rating, we try to reduce that amount of power in order to avoid the damage of the inductor. Temperature coefficient. Next specification is the temperature coefficient. So temperature coefficient, already you know that when the temperature increases, what happened to the inductor? The meaning is inductor can be used in different environment, either temperature high environment or low environment. If we know the temperature coefficient of the inductor, we can guess what happen if it is in the high temperature, and we can also guess if it is in the low temperature what happens. So we need to know the temperature coefficient so that we try to choose the better component for our application. So what is our main aim is we need to choose a better inductor to meet our application. So that we try to minimize the errors or minimize the faults and get the accurate result from our application. So next one is the core material. What type of core material we are using? Depending on the core, if you know the core material, we can know how much magnetic flux will be linking with the inductor and what type of losses we are getting, we can know from this core type of material. So these are general main specifications: inductance value, type of winding, insulation resistance, power rating, temperature coefficient and core material. So now we try to go actual topics, that is the combination of inductors. So whenever we are connecting in the inductors in series and parallel, how we can calculate the equivalent inductance? Coming to the resistors and capacitors. Resistor and capacitor having only self values are there. It does not affect the another resistor. One resistor does not affect the another resistance value. One capacitor does not affect the another capacitor value. So we can simply take a resistance value as an individual value, and we can apply the series formula and parallel formula so that we can find the equivalent value. Coming to the inductor, inductor having the special quality is it having the mutual inductance. It by itself it having the self inductance is there, and another extra thing is the mutual inductance. So what is the problem here is, because of one inductor in another inductor we can get the induced inductance there. The meaning is excitation in the one inductor may cause the voltage in the another coil. So this is somewhat extra thing. That's why we need to take care about whenever we are connecting in series and parallel. So now we try to discuss in detail about how we can connect, how we need to calculate the total inductance in the series combination and parallel combination. So see, do you know why the inductors are connected in series or parallel? The inductors may be connected in series or in parallel in order to increase or decrease the total inductance depending on our requirement. The main concept of this series connection and parallel connection means, in order to increase the inductance value or in order to decrease the inductance value, we connect the component in series or parallel. So generally we may have some standard values are there. Inductor, we don't find the total range of inductor values, only we having the standard values. From the standard values we may derive our required value. The meaning is we may connect in series or we may connect in parallel so that we may achieve our required inductance value for our applications. So the meaning is inductors may be connected in series or parallel in order to increase or decrease the total inductance depending on our requirement. So now we try to discuss about the, if two inductors are connected in series, what happens? In series combination of inductors, you can see the rate of change of current is same in all inductors. The total inductance EMF is equal to the sum of individual EMFs. You know that coming to the inductors, whatever the circuit, whatever the component is connected in series means the current is common, the current is same, the same current is passes through the each and every element which are connected in series. And here the next second point is the voltage is divided, that is each component having the its own voltage drop is there. So that voltage drop generally we can indicate it as EMF, that is the total induced EMF because of the self inductance. The total induced EMF whatever we applied is equals to the sum of the individual EMF. Sum of the individual EMFs. Now we see here series combination without mutual inductance. We are not considering the mutual inductance. Next, after that we try to include this mutual inductance. What happens? We are applying the energy source, that is a voltage source ES. So this connection is in series, so that is the current is same, the voltage induced EMF is first for the first coil E1, for the second coil E2. That is L1 is the self inductance of the coil 1, L2 is the self inductance of the coil 2, and I is the current flowing through the coils, and Ls is the total inductance of the series combination. So now So what is the self inductance of the self EMF in the coil 1 is E1 is equal to minus L di by dt, minus L1 di by dt. Self inductance in the second coil is E2 equals to minus L2 di by d2 dt. The total induced EMF is equals to the sum of individual EMFs as already mentioned. The total EMF in the series circuit is equals to the sum of the individual EMFs, that is the ES equal to E1 plus E2. So that is, so you can write the L1 di by dt, L2 di by dt. So total LS is equals to the L1 plus L2. Simple, we can say is that as in the resistors without mutual inductance, whenever you connect the two inductors in series, the total inductance is nothing but L1 plus L2. If you having the n number of inductors, the value is, you can see the total inductances of the series combination is given by formula total inductance L equals to L1 plus L2 plus L3, so Ln. The meaning is, where any number of inductors connected in series, the total sum of the inductance value gives the total sum of the inductor. So now we try to discuss one problem on this series connection of the inductors. Now we can see the problem. Two inductors with an inductive value of 5 Henry, 10 Henry are connected in series. Find the equivalent inductance of the combination. So you know the two are in a series, so you can know that. Before that, we try to, what we need to is, we try to write the given data. So given data is the inductor 1, inductor 2, that is the inductor 1 is the 5 Henry, inductor 2 is the 10 Henry. The total inductance is L1 plus L2 is 5 plus 10, 15 Henry values. So that is the total inductance without considering the mutual inductance. We are not included the mutual inductors. That is the main point here. So now series combination with mutual inductance. So what mutual inductance, the importance? The mutual inductance importance is, we already mentioned that excitation in the first coil may induce the inductance in the second coil, which are nearer to the first coil. So that type of induced EMF also we need to consider whenever we are calculating the series equivalence of the inductors. In this case, value of total inductance will be depend upon amount of mutual inductance present and whether the combination is in series aiding or series opposing. Here again we having for the mutual inductance two concepts are there. The first one is the series aiding, second one is the series opposing. So what is the meaning of series aiding? Means the whatever the induced mutual inductance is there, mutual voltage is there, whether this flux is linking with the another coil in the adding manner or in the opposing manner. The meaning is the first inductor coil is excited. The first inductor coil, whenever exciting, it induces the magnetic flux. Whenever this magnetic flux links with the other coil, the linking of this other coil is in the two ways. Whether the flux is in the adding way, the meaning is this flux added with the self-induced flux, or opposing the self-induced flux. Depending on these two, we having the two methods, that is the series opposing, that is the series aiding. So we need to consider these two things. So that is, whenever we consider about the series combination with mutual inductance, that value value of the total inductance will be depends upon amount of mutual inductance present and whether the combination is series aiding or series opposing. Now we can see what is the meaning of series aiding. So very important is here. The direction of current flow is such that the two fields aid each other. The meaning is whenever two inductors are connected in series, the direction of current, the current direction is flowing in such a way that the two fields add each other. The two inductors fields adds together. So that is called as a aiding. You can see the diagram. So what happening is in the two pictures are given. A, coil B is there. The direction is same. This here first from T1 to T4, the direction of current is same as in the first coil. So the induced EMF in the first coil and induced EMF in the second coil both are additive. So the mutual inductance get here addition. Now we can try to write the formula how it is. The L1 is the self-inductance of the coil 1, L2 is the self-inductance of coil 2, M is the mutual inductance between the coils, I is the current flowing through the coil. So these are the parameters, and total inductance of the series combination is indicated by Ls. So now we try to find the Ls value. Now we can write the self-inductance of EMF in the coil 1. Already we discussed self-inductance is L di by dt. So mutual inductance of the EMF in coil 1 due to the current in the coil 2. So mutual inductance will be induced because of the another coil excitation. So it is given by mutual inductance or mutual induced EMF in coil 1 due to current in the coil 2 is given by E1 dash equals to minus M di by dt. So mutual inductance in both the coil we are taking as a common as a M, capital M. Though L1 specifies the self-inductance of the first coil, L2 gives the self-inductance of the second coil. What M indicates that common induced EMF of the common mutual induced EMF of the two coils M. So next, second induced EMF in coil 2 is E2 equals to minus L2 di by dt. This is a self-induced EMF. Next, mutually induced EMF in coil 2 due to the current in coil 1 is mutual inductance of second coil due to current present in the first coil is given by E2 dash equal to minus M di by dt. The total induced EMF general formula we know that, or you can say it is also a Kirchhoff voltage law. The total supplied voltage or total induced EMF is equals to the sum of individual EMFs in the loop. Sum of individual EMFs in the loop. So that is you can given by ES equals to E1 plus E1 dash. This is a mutual inductance and the first coil. E2 plus E2 dash. This is the mutual inductance of the second coil due to the first coil. So the total value we can write like this: L1 di by dt plus M di by dt, L2 di by dt plus M di by dt. So M common means you can write like this: L1 plus L2 plus 2M di by dt. So the total series resistance with considering the mutual inductance is Ls equals to L1 plus L2 plus 2M when two inductance are series adding. The total formula is Ls equals to L1 plus L2 plus 2M. This is called as a series adding formula. Now next we are going to discuss about the series opposing. So how it is? only the connection is different. What we are making is the direction of the induced flux is opposing to the direction of the first coil flux. You can see the diagram how it is. The direction of current flow is such that the two fields oppose each other. The direction of current flow is such that the two fields oppose each other. Whatever the two fields are there opposes each other. For that you can see how it is that T1 to T3. The direction, in order to change the direction, we may change the place of the inductor. So we, like that in the diagram is there. So like that we rotated or we overlapped like this. What happens means same amount of or same type of voltage or magnetic flux is induced there, but the direction is opposite to the first coil. So that's why we have it called as a series opposing, same as like this. So you can see E1 equal to minus L di by d2 be first coil, E dash equal to series opposing means plus we may take as a M di by dt, E2 is L2 di by dt, E2 dash is M di by dt. So already you discussed that the total inductance is equal to sum of the total EMFs induced in the loop, that is equal to L1 plus L2 minus 2M because of the series opposing. So the thing is, because of only the direction of the inductor placing changes, what happened means the inductance value is changing. That is the importance of the mutual inductance. This is the one special property compared with the other passive elements, that is the resistor capacitor. The resistor capacitor does not affect another resistor and another capacitor, but the inductor affects the another inductor, like this in the manner, that is the adding manner and opposing manner we may having the effect of the inductor. So this is about the series combination of inductors. So next we try to discuss about the next topic is we try to discuss about the total inductance when they are connected in parallel. Now we are going to discuss about that, the total inductance when they are connected in parallel. What happens when they are connected in parallel? So already you know that same thing with mutual inductance, without mutual inductance, we try to discuss about these connections. Now you can see parallel combination. So already you know what happened in the parallel combination. So in the parallel combination, the voltage is same in all the inductors. You know already, if two inductors are connected or two components are connected in parallel means the common factor is voltage. The voltage drop across each element which are connected in the parallel is same, and the current is divides, each component having the its own individual currents are there. So here we use the Kirchhoff current law, that is the sum of entering current equals to sum of leaving current. Here we can may apply here. The total current is equal to the sum of the currents through the inductors. Whatever the total supplied current is equals to the sum of the currents through the inductors. So this is the main formula to calculate the parallel combination. You can see the parallel combination without mutual inductance. You can see, so the current I1 is the supplied voltage we are applying is the EP parallel voltage. This is parallel with the L1 and L2, so the voltage of E1 and E2 is equals to the EP. The current is here, the total current which are entering is divided into two parts, I1 and I2. After coming to the end of this one, I1 plus I2. So the total current is equals to the I1 plus I2. Now see, now we try to find the formula for this parallel combination. The first one is the self-inductance of the coil 1, second one is the self-inductance of the coil 2. So next one is the total inductance of the parallel combination. Now we can see, then we go for the self-inductance of the first coil. You know, E1 equal to minus L di by dt. Self-inductance of the second coil is minus L di2 by dt. So already you know that the total current is equal to the sum of the currents which are passing through the individual inductors, that is the I equals to I1 plus I2. Already you know di equals to di1 plus di2. The formula is E equals to LP di by dt, L1 di by dt, L2 di by dt. So from this we need to substitute here dt by LP E dt by L1 plus E dt by L2. So this dt's are cancelled and E is cancelled because of the same value. So the total value is the total parallel inductance is 1 by LP equals to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2. The total inductance of the parallel combination is given by the formula, just like the resistor. 1 by LP equals to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2 plus 1 by L3, so on 1 by Ln. So now we try to solve one problem by using this parallel combination. So very simple. Parallel combination means if you have n number of parallel elements are there, we can have the n number of things, that is 1 by LP equals to 1 by L12 plus 1 by Ln, so on we may have in the parallel addition is there. Okay, the first problem is the two inductors. A simple problem. You can see the to understanding the value of this parallel combination. The two inductors with an inductance value of 10 Henry and 15 Henry are connected in parallel. So find the equivalent inductance of the combination. The equivalent inductance of this one given data is L1 is 10 Henry, L2 is 15 Henry. Total formula is 1 by LP equal to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2. So if you substitute 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15, the value is the parallel combination of inductors is 6 Henry. 6 Henry values are there. So now we try to discuss about the inductance in parallel with the mutual inductance. Already we discussed the mutual inductance may affect the another coil, so we need to add that effect into the inductance value. Here also we having the two one, that is aiding and the series aiding and the series opposing. So the total inductance of two coils connected in parallel is given by, you need to derive, we can derive, but we not needed the derivation of that one. So simply remember that for aiding fluxes, the total inductance L equals to L1 L2 minus M square by L1 plus L2 minus 2M. Coming for the opposing fluxes, L1 L2 minus M square by L1 plus L2 plus 2M. So both are same in the numerical. In the denominator, the adding flux having the minus 2M, opposing flux having the plus 2M is there. So this is the inductance connected in parallel with mutual inductance. So now we try to analyze these things by using the problems. We can do the more problems to understanding this a simple parallel combination and the series combination. So another formula to calculate the mutual inductance. You can see this is also important to know the mutual inductance value. The value of mutual inductance can be calculated using the formula by using mutual inductance M equals to LSA minus LSO by 4. What is the meaning is, the total inductance when coils are series adding, total inductance when coils are in series opposing. You know that is 2m plus minus 2m, that is the 2m minus of minus 2m, that is the 4m, 4 cancel, that is nothing but a m mutual inductance. If you know the value of that type of series adding value and series opposing value, you can find the mutual inductance. This is another indirect formula to calculate the mutual inductance. We try to remember. So this is about the mathematical part of this inductors which are connected in series and parallel. You can know we can also find the series currents and the individual voltages and parallel voltage and individual voltages. We can also find by using this series combination and parallel combination. I already discussed this type of problems in the resistors. So now we try to discuss the another topic is the types of core materials used for different frequencies. So what are the core materials we are using for different frequencies? Which core material is useful for which type of frequency? So first of all, what is the core? Why we need the core? We need to know idea about the core. The core is nothing but the conductor is wounded on this core in order to avoid the losses in the linkage of the flux. Inductance is induced because of when the current is passing through the inductor, it produces or it induces the magnetic flux. Whenever this magnetic flux again cuts the conductor, the EMF is induced. In order to cut that EMF, if you cutting the more EMF, we will induce the more induced EMF. So in order to get that one, we use the core. Core is nothing but a magnetic path. Core is the magnetic path which passes the magnetic flux through that path and cuts the required coils. So now we try to discuss about this one. So first of all, we need to know what is a core. You know that core. A core is the supporting material on which the winding wire is wounded. What is the core? Core is the supporting material on which the winding wire is wounded. Whatever the wire we are used for the inductor, that is wounded on this material. So what is the need of core? Why we need this type of core means the need of a core is to reduce the leakage of the flux. The main concept, the main importance is it reduces the leakage of the flux. What amount of flux is produced on the particular inductor, the total flux should be linked with the coil. So that is our main aspect. In order to achieve that, we are using a proper core. So what type of core materials are used for making coils and transformer? So what type of materials we are using? We already discussed different types of core materials. The core materials are used for making coils and transformers are: the first one is the air core, second one is the iron core, third one is the ferrite core. Already we know that air core, ferrite core and iron core. So in detail we try to discuss about these core materials. You know that is the air core means there is no any core is there, simply wounded conductor is called as the air core inductors. So coming to the iron cores, iron core is an ferromagnetic material and is commonly used as the core material for making mains power transformers. So iron core is nothing but a iron we are using, that is a ferromagnetic material. Ferromagnetic material we are using, and this is commonly used for core material for making the main power supplies of the transformer. Mains power transformers are power supply we can use this one. In the power transformers we are using the iron core type materials. So another is there, powdered iron cores also there. Powdered iron cores. So powdered iron cores are made by subjecting a mixture of powdered iron dust and an insulating cement to high pressure in molds. The meaning is, it is a mixture of the iron powder, iron dust and the insulating cement. So why we are using means in order to avoid the losses in the core. So if core is a continuous core, what happen means eddy currents are produced in that core and that may try to damage or heat the transformer or inductors. In order to avoid this, we use for another type of material that is called as a powdered iron core. So powdered iron cores are made by subjecting a mixture of powdered iron dust and an insulating cement to high pressure in molds. So another one is the ferrite cores we are using. Ferrite core is magnetic material produced from powdered mixture of iron oxide and an oxide of divalent metal iron. Iron oxide and the metal iron, these two combination is called as a ferrite cores. Ferrite cores. So depending on our application, we may having the different types of cores we used. Now we try to discuss the core materials used at frequency ranges are given below. So for what frequency, what type of core material we need to use. So generally we have the three cores: air core, iron core, ferrite core is there. So where we are using this type of cores is there. The first one is the laminated iron. So core material here we are using the laminated iron. So this type of laminated iron core is used for the audio frequency. Whenever we are using the audio frequency inductors, transformers, we use the laminated iron as the core. The next one is the ferrite or air core or powdered iron. These three we can use anything: ferrite or air core or powdered iron cores for the radio frequency. So for the radio frequency applications, we can use any of three: iron core, ferrite core and the powdered iron core we can use. The next one is the ferrite or air core or powdered iron are used for intermediate frequency. For the intermediate frequency also we can use any of the core material. Now you see here the core materials used at different frequency ranges are given below. Audio frequency range 20 Hz to 15 kHz. Radio frequency range is 50 kHz to 200 MHz. Like this we can use the core material for the proper application of the frequencies. So this is about the frequencies and range of the cores, type of the cores which we are using in the manufacturing the inductors or transformers. So now we try to discuss about the introduction about the transformers, some sort of introduction we try to discuss. So what is the main objective of these inductors is the inductor having the basic property is mutual inductance. By using this property, that is a mutual inductance property, the innovators are invented a wonderful machine that is called as a transformer. This is a device which can transform the energy from one place to another place without having any physical contact, and without any changing in the frequency of the supplied signal. So that is the main advantage of these inductors. So the developed device is the transformer. So oh, the transformer is there. So on what principle the transformer is working, and what is the internal structure and how it is, we try to discuss. So what is the transformer? Before going to the transformer, first we try to discuss about the Faraday's laws. So based on these two laws only the transformer is working. First law is, whenever a conductor cuts the magnetic flux, an EMF is induced in it. The meaning is, whenever conductor, if you having the conductor, if the conductor is placed in the magnetic flux area, where the magnetic flux is there, in that particular field, if you place this conductor in that conductor, it induces the magnetic EMF, that is the electromagnetic force is induced in that conductor. So that is given by the Faraday's first law. The next one is the second law. The magnitude of induced EMF depends on the rate of change of flux linkage. The second important law is, what is the magnitude of the induced EMF? We say that the EMF is induced whenever we place the conductor in the magnetic flux field. So how much it will be induced means, the magnitude of the induced EMF depends on the rate of change of flux linkage. How much flux is linking with this conductors, that will give the magnitude of the flux. Now you see here Faraday's law. We try to discuss in detail. Do you know where the electrical energy is generated? Where the electrical energy is generated? Generally, you know that the electrical energy is generated at Hydel Thermal Power Station. Hydel Power Station and the thermal power station. So what are the major source of generating electrical power? So what are the major sources of generating electrical power is, the major source of generating electrical power are water and coal. Water and coal. So water is in the hydraulic power plant, coal is in the thermal power plant. So the thing how we are transforming that is, the transmission of electrical energy at high voltages is economical. Therefore, some means are required for setting up the voltage at the generating station and stepping down the same at the place where it is to be used. The meaning is, at the power generation, the high voltages are generated. From that, high generated voltages are taken and these voltages are stepped down at where we using. The meaning is, the transmission of electrical energy at high voltages is economical. The meaning is, we can transmit the high voltages through the transmission lines. Some means are required for stepping up the voltage at the generating station and stepping down the same at the place where it is to be used. At the generation station, what we needed is, in order to make the voltage in the high voltage, we need to step up the voltage. So this step up voltage is transmitted through the transmission lines very effectively, and this is the economical. After reaching the our level, whenever we want to use that voltage, the high voltage is not useful for us. What we need to do is, that high voltage is step down and we use that one. The meaning is, what we needed is, we needed a machine in order to step up the voltage at the generation station and step down machine at the receiving station. We need to step up and step down the voltage. That is the main concept, means captain. So that device is nothing but a transformer. Do you know which device is used for stepping up or stepping down the voltage? For stepping up and for stepping down, which device we are using is the transformer. The device is the transformer. So what is the transformer? So this is the main important device, very useful device, and without this transformer we don't have anything in the electrical engineering. Transformer. Transformer is a static device which is used to transfer electrical power from one circuit to another circuit with same frequency. Transformer is a static device which is used to transfer electrical power from one circuit to another circuit with same frequency without any physical contact. This is also very important. It works on the principle of mutual inductance. The main concept is the mutual inductance. That is the very beauty of this mutual inductance. It has two windings, one for primary and another for secondary winding. One for primary winding and another for the secondary winding. It is mainly used to step up or step down the voltage and currents. It is mainly used to step up or step down the voltage and currents. This is the main concept of the transformer. So about this transformer we try to discuss detail in the next class. Until we discussed about the parallel combination of inductors, series combination of inductors, and the parallel combination and series combination by using the mutual inductance, what values we are getting. Again in this we having the series addition and series opposition, adding the inductance and opposing the inductance. Two cases are there. These two cases also discussed in the inductors. After that we discussed about the different types of cores which we are used in the different frequency ranges. So which frequency range which type of cores we used, we discussed, and we discussed about the introduction of the transformer. So in the next class we try to discuss about the in detail about the transformer. Thank you.